Well, like hundreds of other businesses, EMSA has struggled to consistently provide the same quality of service that it did prior to the pandemic. But when your business is providing potentially life-saving ambulance service, people notice. And right now, some Oklahoma communities are reconsidering their allegiance to the state's largest ambulance provider. Steve Shaw joins us now with more on that. Steve.
Rich, there have been rumblings about this for several months. Municipalities I talk to pretty much agree EMSA paramedics and EMTs are lifesavers and top-notch. However, since just before the pandemic began, EMSA response times started becoming an issue.
When the alarm goes off in Edmond fire stations, firefighters have 60 seconds to get in their rig and get out the door if it's a medical call. If it's a structure fire, they get 20 seconds more. The Emergency Medical Services Authority, or EMSA, has served the Tulsa area since 1977 and around Oklahoma City since 1990. EMSA says it serves more than 1.1 million Oklahomans in 12 communities and surrounding areas. But just over 3 weeks ago, at an Edmond City Council meeting, Edmond Fire Chief Chris Goodwin told council members repeated slow response times by EMSA ambulance crews are now just too much.
You all are aware this has been an issue in the city for some time, so it's no surprise to you. I do want to stress before I get started that nothing in my presentation is meant to be an attack on our current provider, EMSA. We've enjoyed a good relationship with them for many years, but the past 33 months has not been up to the standards that we expect.
EMSA calls are broken down in Priority 1 and Priority 2 calls. Priority 1 are the serious medical calls. Edmond expects EMSA to respond to 90% of those Priority 1 calls in less than 11 minutes. Edmond's fire chief says since just before the beginning of the pandemic in March of 2020, EMSA has failed to do that.
I feel like we're going on 3 years of non-compliance. They've yet to hit compliance in the last 33 months a single time.
Priority 2 calls are less serious, but Edmond still expects EMSA to get to those calls within 25 minutes, again 90% of the time. But Chief Goodwin told City Council EMSA missed that mark in 32 out of the last 33 months. Staffing shortages related to the pandemic, many believe, has been the cause.
There have been some long ones. At times they've exceeded 2 hours. That's not the norm now. There has been improvement, I'll tell you, although we are still experiencing unacceptable wait times.
And ambulances that get to scenes probably later than they should in some cases touch off other issues.
When you have an Edmond Fire Department group of personnel respond to an incident, they're at that incident until that patient or until that incident is completed, and then they're not released to go to another call. So if it takes you a half an hour, or if it takes you 2 hours for ambulance services to show up, to transport a patient efficiently and quickly, that means that group of personnel is out of service until that call is finished.
Edmond spokesman Bill Begley says 24,000 of the city's 44,000 utility customers pay an extra $3 a month on their bills for EMSA service.
$3 a month for anybody who opts in.
$3 for peace of mind.
For a peace of mind. For knowing that if you ever need an ambulance, it's not a question of can we afford this. It's a matter of making that call and then knowing consistently that they're going to show up.
Tony Fiorentini and his wife moved to Edmond 4 years ago to retire.
Yeah, well, I think something has to be corrected then. I didn't realize it was like that because we are paying that monthly fee in our utility bill. It's a good peace of mind knowing that should something happen, we want to make sure that they're here when you expect them to be.
I reached out to EMSA's Tulsa-based spokesman, Adam Paluca, about this 2 weeks ago. He declined an interview request, but sent this statement. EMSA is aware Edmond City Council approved a request for proposals for emergency medical services. EMSA is proud to serve citizens in our Western Division. We will continue to work with the City of Edmond to improve performance And we remain committed to providing high-quality clinical care. I also talked to Oklahoma City 2 weeks ago. Their fire spokesman told me the city is in the process of negotiating another contract with IMSA, and the fire department had nothing more to say. I also spoke to other members of IMSA's Western Division. The village fire chief, TJ Hamill, says IMSA response times have gotten better, and the village is sticking with them for now. Arcadia Town trustee Marcus Woodward says they also plan to stay with IMSA. Nichols Hills Fire had no comment. Valley Brook hasn't returned my call, and Lake Aluma has less than 100 residents. As for the east side of the state,
for us, it's looking at this post-pandemic situation.
Tulsa Fire Chief Michael Baker told me Tuesday the city of Tulsa plans to stay with IMSA.
As far as our response time compliance, IMSA's been at or around the 90% compliance mark for the last several months. So it has not been near the problem, a challenge of below 80% or less that they've had in the Western Division.
Edmond tells me there are plenty of other ambulance services, and they are taking bids on a new ambulance service provider until June 15th. They say IMSA is welcome to make another bid themselves.